Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing a spring decon wash using Detail Company products from the House of Rags. Now before we get going on this, I just want to say I bought everything that you see here, everything that I'm going to be using, I purchased with my own money. None of this was sent to me and they didn't ask me to do this video. This is all on my own. And why am I using Detail Company products? Well, because I have on the car here, everything you see, I have the Detail Company slim and thick ceramic coatings on the car. And what better way to make sure to see if they've actually lasted the winter, how the properties, hydrophobic properties perform. What better use or better way than to use their product line to see just how well this stuff works. So now, just really quick before we get started, the slim and thick I applied November 1st, 2024. It is now middle of April, so it has been 5.5 months. And we've been through a harsh Cleveland winter. I do a ton of highway driving, so there's a lot of calcium chloride and road salt and all that other stuff put on the road. Antifreeze from vehicles, diesel exhaust, things like that get kicked up during rainstorms, snowstorms. And I have noticed over time that the very lower, probably foot on the bottom of the doors, I could see some diminishing hydrophobic effects, I guess you could say. The water sheeting and beading wasn't like it was before. And so what I really want to do is go through the whole product lineup, do a good decontamination, and really see how well these coatings have held up over the winter. Now, I reached out to Jamie at the House of Rags, and I said, hey, what's your preferred method for washing? And he said, hey, go in with the high pH soap. Okay, foam on, rinse off, because you want to get rid of the road film. Okay, and then he said go ahead and foam on the low pH soap, and then do a contact wash with the low pH soap. And so I did that, and not on this vehicle, but so I done that, and I realized it didn't work exactly as intended. And I think it might be because he's in a completely separate area of the US. And so what I found was that what I need to do, I'm going to go in with a high pH soap. We're going to pre-treat, we're going to pre-spray. I'm going to foam it on the car, and then I'm going to rinse, because we do the foam rinse, okay? And then I'm going to refoam it with the high pH soap, and I'm going to do a bucket wash then with the high pH soap on the car, because I really need to remove all that traffic film. And then I'm going to rinse, okay? And then I'm going to spray with the low pH soap, the acid wash. Do that process. And that way, because there's no road film, this can actually attack. And I'm also going to do a bucket wash. So I'm going to pre-treat again. I'm going to pre-spray, foam on, and I'm going to use mechanical process then to make sure that all that calcium chloride, anything that might be masking the properties of the coating, I'm going to make sure that's all gone, okay? And then what we're going to do is, and I may add some of the neutral soap in there just for some lubrication, but you really don't need it. This is more a constant, like every week type wash. It's super great though for that, or for even just adding to the other stuff to increase the lubricity. But then we need to clean wheels and tires, so we're going to use some iron remover. And then we are also going to clay the vehicle. So we need to, because to make sure proper decon, make sure you have all the contaminants off the top. And then if we need to, once everything's done, there's ceramic sealant. There is detail spray. The dressing for tires, we might need that. And then glass cleaner, of course. And in fact, what I didn't mention is the Beat EE, the bugs, dirt, and exterior. This is what I'm going to be using to clean the rims and tires. And we have it straight up for some of the tires, and for the rims, I have it diluted 4:1. So that's it, guys. That said that, let me show you the actual surface of the car and why we're going to pre-spray and do all these foam and rinse cycles. Let's get going. Okay, guys. So this is like, from driving, city driving, rain, everything else. But I've noticed at the bottom, just diminishing hydrophobic effects Normally I do tires last, but in this process, because I'm going to be foaming so much and scrubbing, we're going to actually start this first before we do anything else. So the first thing, we want to make sure that nothing is, that these are cool to the touch. We don't want to put product on hot wheels or anything else. Make sure it's cool to the touch. And I'm just going to start by spraying some of the iron remover. And then I'm going to go in with, on the tires themselves, with the BDE. And you can see, I mean, it's like brown coming off of there. It's instant turning brown. And honestly, I have not cleaned these all winter long. And you could see the iron remover is already working. So that's a good thing. And now on the actual wheels, I'm going to spray the 4-to-1. And we'll get it inside there. And I'm going to let this do its thing. And now I'm actually going to start the pre-spray on the side of the car while this soaks. Oh, by the way, guys, if you don't think that this stuff works, look at the asphalt. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to pre-spray the very bottom. This is mixed 10-to-1. It's the hard wash, the high pH soap. So I'm going to start by spraying the very bottom, 10-to-1. I want to break that down. All right, now that's dwelling, that's dwelled a little bit. Our tires, I don't want this to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually foam the whole car now with the hard wash at 10-to-1. So while the hard wash is dwelling on the outside, I just want to come in really quick. We're going to scrub the tires. We'll hit the rims. Now this one's ready to go. And in fact, I see the rest of the car now is needing a rinse. Okay, so I've rinsed the car, but you could see we still... So you can see that the water still sheets really slow, but all the grit and grime is off of there. So now we're going to foam again and go in with our contact wash. All right, so we did our foam, our rinse, we foamed again, and now it's time to do the contact wash. And again, our contact wash is going to be with the high pH, okay, the hard wash. And you can see how well it foams, so we don't have any issues at all using this as our main wash process. All right, now we've done the entire car with the hard wash. We're going to rinse, and then we can foam on the acid wash. All right, before we go any further, I want to show you now the hydrophobics before we go with the acid wash, because I want to see if this improves. So we can see a definite improvement in the thick, and where I had the thin on the back. We see that we have pretty good hydrophobic performance there too. All right, guys, so what we've done so far, obviously, we did the hard wash. We foamed, we rinsed because we wanted to get all that grit off the car. Okay, then I foamed again. I actually did the contact wash with the hard wash. And if we were doing a normal maintenance wash, really that's all I would need. Maybe I would add a little of the pH neutral soap in there for a little added lubricity. But honestly, like I do 1 ounce per gallon in the wash bucket, and it is super, super slick. But now I want to see if I could boost the hydrophobics. Any of those minerals that got caught up over the winter, I want to try and remove them. So again, on the bottom, I'm going to do a 1 to 10 pre-wash with the acid wash, the low pH soap. And then I'm going to let it dwell. And then I'm going to foam the whole car with the acid wash. And then I'm going to go right into another contact wash with the acid wash, because I want to agitate that mechanically. We're not going to do water spot remover, so I'm going to use this as my water spot remover. Oh, by the way, guys, try not to breathe that in. Don't sniff it out of the bottle. The acid wash is very powerful, and even just that spray, like I'm coughing, it actually has a pleasant smell. It's like citrus, but you can definitely tell that there's something going on in there. All right, so the instructions say let the hard wash dwell for like 60 seconds. I foamed it on 1 to 10. It's been easily 60 seconds now, so I'm going to get into the contact wash and then immediately start rinsing. All right, one step to go, but let's do a hydrophobics check. Not bad. All right, decontamination almost done. One more step to the puzzle here, and that's going to be the iron remover with the clay towel. So what I'm going to do, I got clay. What I did is I filled my bucket with about a gallon of water, added some of the soft wash to it, and that's going to be my lubrication for the clay towel. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray this a little bit on the paint or on the door. I'll show you that. And then just grab the towel, the clay towel, go through, and we'll see if there's any contamination on there. And then we'll do a final, I guess, check on the coating. Let's see how it performed for the winter. All right, we have our clay towel. I'm just going to put a couple sprays onto the towel, a couple on the door there, and we're just going to go across, make sure. And you can see there's plenty of lubrication on there. And this is actually in really good condition. I don't feel anything. I don't hear anything. So anyway, I'm going to get done with the rest of the car, hit the rest of the car, and then rinse it all off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, one last hydrophobics check. Let's see. All right, guys, now that we've done the full decon wash with the Detail Company products, you saw the steps, and you know, it might look like there was a lot, but I've went through 15 gallons of water in total. So it's not a ton, and I still have plenty to go, and that included what I put in the bucket and everything else. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is you can do the Detail Company Lightning as a drying aid or a detail spray. But I want to try on this car anyway, the ceramic sealant as a drying aid. It should give me 1 to 2 months protection. I just want to see, hey, does it do anything? Does it boost the hydrophobics? Does it do anything different? I have not put anything on this car in the 6 months since I've put the slim and thick on here. And so now I think I want to play around and, you know, just like we all do, let's see how this works, you know, if it lasts me the 2 years that I really hope that it lasts. So anyway, time to dry this thing off, and I think I'm going to put some ceramic sealant on here. Okay, just really quick, this ceramic sealant as a drying aid is super slick. I mean, it's just like a drying aid, really, to be honest. Well, it is a drying aid, but it is super slick on the towel. And no streaking that I could see because it's kind of mixing with the water. So anyway, I only put it on the areas where I had the slim and thick. I have other coatings in other areas that I'm not going to apply that to because I want to see how those react going forward. All right, guys, car's all dried up. There's only one thing, actually two things left to do. Apply some dressing to the tires. They're still wet, so I might actually, when I drive home, I'll probably put them on at home and put that on there. And because I want to get out of here, I don't want to wait for it to dry. And then the other thing is any glass cleaning. Their glass cleaner works absolutely fantastic. Some of the best stuff, and little goes a long way. You don't need to spray the heck out of it. Now, the one thing that I am using today that is not Detail Company, not sold at the House of Rags, this P&S, the Reflect Glass Finisher. All right, guys, this stuff is absolutely fantastic. They say it's like anti-fog. It says cleans, protects, adds optical clarity, okay, SiO2 protection. I put this on the inside and outside of the glass where it's not coated, and I absolutely love this stuff. So if you have some place that you can get some of this and try it out, I would say try it out. It really works good. And like when they say it's anti-fog, it really does. I have not had any issues with fogging on the car since I started using this on whatever windows. So anyway, that is the full decon wash. If you want to grab some of these Detail Company products for yourself, now that you've seen how they get used, dilution ratios, things like that, and you know, just how well they actually work. They work fantastic. The high pH, the low pH, everything works good as a bucket wash. And if you want to grab some of your own, check out my links below. Head over to the House of Rags. Use code TOD10. Saves you 10%. And well, until the next time, I will talk to you later. Bye. Got a little bit of bonus footage. This actually dried up. I think it's dry enough. Tires are nice and black. We're good. Normally, I would actually have a spray head and I would spray it onto a brush and just brush it on, but I don't have an extra sprayer with me, so I'm just going to apply some of this on my applicator and go to town. All right, now I'll come back in a few minutes with a towel and just make sure I level it out. You know, I'll let it dry a little bit and then I'll level it out and see what happens. It's had a few minutes to set up, probably like 3 or 4. So I'm just going to take my my Dirty Jobs towel, just level it out, get any excess. And let it dry. There you go. Clean wheels. Car's ready for the summer.